Stop making short films and get on with your feature film. Hi, I'm Jim Eaves. I've made shorts and features, and I'm going to tell you why I think you need to stop making short films and move on to that first feature and get it shot. So what we see is a lot of students coming out of university, they've made a final short film for their final project, and they just get stuck in that zone of short film, short film, short film. Now, I think part of that is because at uni, perhaps they're thinking about budget and they're thinking, I need this much budget to make a short film, so how the hell am I going to make a feature film on such a low amount? I'm going to have to cut corners, it's not going to be as good, and I want it to be quality. And there's also kind of this myth that if you make a really good short film, it's going to give you recognition, you're going to get into all these festivals, everyone's going to love it, and then someone's going to come along and go, hey you've made a good short film, here's some money to make a feature film. Now, that does happen, but it happens very rarely. And it's kind of a lightning striking sort of situation. You've got to be at the right festival, the right person's got to see the film, you've got to get into the festival in the first place. You can't pin all your hopes on making this killer short film that's going to lead to someone funding your feature. You've got to make that feature film right now. One of the other things with short films is you can't really make any money out of them. There are spaces where you can monetize short films, and you could even put your film on YouTube if your channel's been monetized. But really, the only way you're ever going to make any money is by making a feature film that you can get out on streaming and you can get people to watch. Also, there's a certain level of storytelling that goes on in a feature film that you're never going to get to if you keep making short films. Short films sometimes fall into a few categories. They can be a bit gimmicky, they can kind of have one theme running through them. Obviously they'll have less characters than a feature film. Shooting a feature film is going to teach you a lot more about story, about characters, and about really digging in to what's happening in your plot. Short films can be abstract, or they can be A to B to C sort of story, but you'll never get that lesson about long form storytelling and really having to hold that audience's attention for a long time. And if you are going to make a short film, then you've still got to think about the audience. I've seen a lot of short films that can be quite self-indulgent, especially if you've got 2 minutes of credits, black with white text, going through the credits as if we're about to watch The Godfather, but we're not. We're going to watch a 10-minute short film. We don't need all these credits. We need to get into the story. That'll give you a much better chance of getting accepted into a film festival if you can grab the audience's attention from the beginning. Also, you need to think really carefully about the length of your short film, because film festival promoters, selection committees, what they'll want is they'll want to find a film that's going to fit probably on the beginning of a feature film, or that's going to fit nicely into their program. And if you are a believer in the myth that someone's going to watch your short film and they're going to give you money to make a feature film, I'm telling you it's far more likely to happen if you've made a killer feature film that you're going to get someone come along and be interested in investing in you or potentially your next project. What I've seen happen in the past is a filmmaker makes their first feature film, they get known for that type of film, and then they'll get to make another version of that film, maybe with a slightly different story, but with a much higher budget. So don't count on the short film, go for the feature, get it shot, show people what you can do, and you'll have a much better chance of actually making some money and maybe even making some headway with your career. I hope that's been useful, and I hope it's inspired you to get your feature film shot. Please do put in the comments below your own theories on this and whether you are continuing to make short films and the reasons why, or why you've moved on to feature films. I'd love to hear more. See you on the next one.